Morning. Well, I guess for y'all it's afternoon, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
sir, it is.
Okay, so it's still morning here, and my computer is definitely on morning time. So it is moving. My computer has not had its coffee yet, but I have. So we're good to go. Welcome everyone to the Fanatic Sports Podcast, episode number 57 of the Fanatic Sports Podcast, and a very special episode, if I do say so myself. Very excited to have Dr. Dawn, Shannon, and Liz. Tell me how to say the first part. Is it Sias or Sias?
Sias.
Sias. Okay. Liz Sias-Shannon, CEO of C.H.O.I.C.E. So first and foremost, let me say thank you very much for you guys joining. Y'all don't know me. For anybody that's watching, they don't know me. I saw their ad on Facebook, I think, or either Instagram, and was very, very excited to just see some of the really cool things. As a matter of fact, it was just a video of a young man who I think had maybe made it to the pros or to college or something like that. And it looks like you guys do a ton of work with mentoring students. And of course, as a sports podcast, very excited to see anybody helping any kids get to college. So definitely excited to have you here. Thank you so much for both of you for joining.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. So here at the Fanatic Sports Podcast, we call ourselves Fanatic. Of course, Fanatic is the longer name for fan. Fan is normally associated with, I like to say passionate. Some people might say crazy. Y'all both seem like very excited sports fans. So we like to start our show with our fans. So any team, any level, any sport, pick your favorite team and tell us how y'all became fans of your favorite teams.
Well, I'll start. I don't have a favorite team.
Okay.
My thing is about individual people, individuals, and on how their character and their integrity actually leads the team to the victories. I'm more about the person and how they are impacting the team. So I couldn't pick a favorite team, but I definitely can. I am a fanatic of Allen Iverson. Allen Iverson has impacted my life greatly. 3 is one of my favorite numbers. In addition to just his authenticity, his vulnerability, about his struggles. I have appreciated that, and I have watched a lot of the things that he's done in the community that are not always put into the forefront, how he has worked on himself, being a better father, a better husband. And I've enjoyed watching his journey, and in his journey has really, really impacted a lot of my leadership, along with his coach at Georgetown.
What wonderful, and a great guy because his impact goes so far from the on the court, his play on the court, his play off the court, the swag he brought to the NBA, the sort of in a world where it seemed like they were trying to make us be robots at that point. And you think about it now in translation, talking about it was just a few years ago when a big time news company literally wrote that LeBron should shut up and dribble. So to talk about someone like Iverson and his ability to not only not shut up and dribble, but to be impactful and be genuinely who he is, what made everyone love him. So really, really fond of that. How about you, Liz? Do you have a favorite team, player, or sport?
Well, let me tell you, you're gonna say this is old school, and I don't mind that at all. I am a fanatic baseball fan, and that comes from it. When I was a child, my father was into baseball, and he would tell me to watch the team, and then tell him what happened. And there are
Okay.
two people that always, three, matter of fact, always stick in my mind, and that was Roy Campanella and Willie Mays. And the
Wow.
reason being, at that particular time, it was difficult for African Americans to be in that kind of sport. But those two players always exhibit such confidence and such good character. And my dad would always say that to me. So they made a difference. And then there was Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron did an awful lot on the field and also in the community. So, and my son is played baseball, and so I baseball is mine. And his favorite player was Hank,
Frank Thomas.
Frank Thomas. That was his
Frank
favorite.
Thomas, the
player.
Big Hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He wore number 35. Everything was Frank Thomas for him. For baseball, because even now I can look at baseball. People say it's too slow, but not for me. And it all had to do with my father.
So I'm a big baseball fan as well. I'm a Royals fan. So originally I'm from Arkansas, and as a Royals fan, our AA team is up in Northwest Arkansas, and so I never understood the game. I was like a lot of people, a lot of the casual fans that said baseball is too slow, until I started understanding what I was watching. And then like going to the game is also, which forever it was called America's national pastime, and it wasn't something that was broadcasted on air on TV for you to watch on your 52-inch screen. The summertime when it was a little warm and as they say, a cold hot dog and a flat beer. And so I definitely love the game of baseball. Now that I know what I'm doing, I still have to struggle with that whole eye on the ball thing. So I don't think my calling was in baseball, but I definitely enjoy watching it and watching those who are good at it. Definitely, and the names you said, from Hank Aaron to lesser known Willie Mays. Those are some of the bigger names, and again, one of the really cool things that I enjoyed about looking into you guys' organization and what y'all are doing is that it's people who look like me and look like my children, helping people of all shades, but especially those who have gotten it. So very, very cool to get the opportunity to chat with you guys. So tell me, did your son play first base like Frank Thomas as well? Okay. So I think about it now, and one of the interesting things about baseball for me is that it doesn't look like it takes a lot of athleticism. You'd be very wrong if you thought that. But it's so interesting to me to see how the athleticism is turned. And you think about, I don't know how much you guys follow the Yankees, but there's a guy, Aaron Judge, 6'7", 280. I mean, we're talking about a mammoth man, and he hits moonshots. I want to say he almost hit 60 this year, 60 home runs. And for a long time, my concern was like, man, why didn't he play football? Until I saw him hit, and I understand how good he is. It really is a very cool sport. So definitely, and I'll tell you something that I met a guy who was coaching for the Royals system with the NWA team, and he said that he was hoping to get more young black men playing baseball because of what it means, the way the game is taught, and it's an old school game, like you said, Miss Liz. It definitely requires a bit of gentlemanship that I think everyone can agree that a lot of young men hopefully we can bring baseball back to the forefront. So you guys are out in Kentucky, and it seems like you're sending a lot of students across the country. I've seen some of the schools. Are they all going? Are they all staying in state, or some of the schools that I've seen them attending? You got yourself muted. Oh, there you go.
You went in and out. Can you ask that question again?
Oh, I was asking. I said some of the students that you guys are mentoring. I've been seeing them going all over to a lot of different colleges. Talk a little bit about how you guys kind of started that foundation of working with C.H.O.I.C.E and what inspired you guys to get into helping so many students like you have so far.
Well, Choice Incorporated started in 1987, and we started as an intervention alcohol and drug program, and we worked with middle school, elementary and middle school students at that particular time, and high school students, and we had several different programs. We had a sisterhood program, brotherhood program, and a mixed gender. And as time went on with our program, we have served at least 18 different schools here in Jefferson County Public School System. And I needed to know that Choice, we have been around for 38 years. And for 38 years, the program has been in Jefferson County Public School System during school hours. So that's a milestone alone.
Yes,
But
indeed.
31
Yes, ma'am.
31 years ago in 1994, we started the Dare to Dream Sports Leadership and Mentoring Program at one of our schools, Fern Creek High School. And we started that because we were working with kids and we saw where athletes, whether people wanted to be or not, athletes were leaders and people looked up to them. So why not take that particular ingredient and help young people in addition to help themselves? And one of the things that we did, we started out with the football team at Fern Creek High School, but we did not start with all of the players, all of the ones who was in highlight. We were looking at the ones who had potentials to grow. And that's how we had asked our coaches and others in the system to make the recommendation. So now we deal with all other sports, and we also deal with females as well. So we have a female mentoring program, and we also have a male mentoring program, and all of them mentor elementary school students per gender. So it has been exceptional. It has been an exceptional program, and it has made an enormous impact on our students, not only the mentors, but the mentees as well. And we have, it has been helpful to the families as well. So we're very proud of the program. We're very proud of our sports mentoring program.
Well, it certainly sounds like you got a lot to be proud of. No, please go on. We got plenty of
Well,
time.
the thing is, listen, the reason why I say that, because they always tell me, say, don't get her started talking about the George program.
This
Because
is
she'll go on.
the time. Come on. Tell me everything, Miss Liz. I want to hear it all.
One of the things when we first got started, we started at the highest risk, and that was the butyl that was the program where kids that could not remain in their regular school, they would put them in Butyl Metropolitan because they had violated, they've been fined or done something. So that's where the program started. It started there. And so once we were there for a semester going on a year, we realized that we could also expand this program to other schools. And so that's why I say with 18 different schools that we've had our program in. And it has made a difference. We have an awful lot of students here in this community are making such a big difference in the things that they are doing for the community. And so that makes me so proud. I get very excited because they're always staying in contact. And to this point, I have uh, counseled my students,
Yes, ma'am.
children. So we have it has made a difference in the community because they come back and they want it. And I've done a lot of counseling with them over the years. They know that we're here. Choice is here. Once you are in the program, you are always a part of the Choice family. So we got kids that have been with us for 38 years and they're part of the family. And then that is what makes this program so viable because of that connection that we have with our participants and their families.
So when I looked at the ad, and like I said, that was kind of the starting point to see some of the things that you guys are doing. And I didn't, like I said, please don't hesitate to elaborate, go as far as you need, because that's kind of what this is about, is getting the opportunity to spread that. I think that's really cool that you guys getting that opportunity. I'm from Little Rock. Little Rock is for those who are familiar, Little Rock has had a troubled past in a lot of different atmospheres. But to have a group that strong, like I said, people who look like those of us who need it the most. It's you've been through it. That's a very special thing for us to get the opportunity to do. But the one video I saw with the young man that was talking, he was so passionate. Like I said, very passionate and excited to talk about his time with Choice and some of the things that was able to accomplish and what it meant, for him and his future and how it changed the trajectory of his career. Look, something simple. So I work with a small group, well, not a small group, but a group called FCA at my kids' high school.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I'm very, very passionate about is leadership. We need more of it, and unfortunately, God rest my dad. So one thing he used to say is he would always say, "This is y'all's work." He would tell me that young, I was 9 or 10, and I didn't understand what he's saying. I'm 40 now. I kind of get it because this is no longer. I don't have the influence that I once could have or should have or would have had, and it's about the young folks. I've got an 18-year-old daughter and a 16-year-old son. Well, my daughter turns 18 next month, and my son just turned 16 this past Tuesday, or a little bit a week ago. And so they're the leaders. They're the leaders in our church community and with our youth group. They're the leaders at our school. One of my proudest moments, even more than soccer or track or any accomplishments that my kids had, was when they looked to my son to pray before the state testing or something like that. So it was a big test, and they looked at him as the person who would lead that prayer. So very, very special for me. But leadership is so important, and even if that's all they get out of it, seeing a good leader, it makes you become a good leader. Very, very excited about that, but that passion. So tell me a little bit about. First off, let's start with this. We've been talking. I was going to wait for you guys to tell the whole acronym of Choice. I absolutely love what it stands for. So we'll start there. Tell the whole acronym of what Choice stands for.
You want to do Choice is children have options in choosing experiences. And I always say with that, we had a very difficult time getting our name together because everybody was saying children, but my thing is we will always be somebody's child. So
Right.
children. And the thing is that we say children have options in choosing experiences, but as adults, we must put those options out there for them. And that is the one thing I think that is so lacking in what we do as adults, as leaders, as adult leaders. We don't put the options out there. We always talking about what kids need to do, but we need to put it out there so they can do. And we also need to learn as adults. We need to learn to listen. because if we do not listen to a child, we will not know what they're thinking, how they're feeling, where they get that information from. And then once we sit and listen to them, then we can say, well, that is not really correct. But
Right.
unless we listen to them and stop interrupting them so much, I think we have a chance, and put those options out there. There's so many different things that we can put out that the kids can experience. And that is the one thing that I'm very passionate about. Don't come telling me about this, that. What have you done to help? Are you doing anything at church? Are you doing anything in the community? Are you doing anything in school? Well, if you're not doing this thing, stop whining. Start doing. Adults, we should start doing, as my pastor always in our church. That's what we should have a ministry. We should have a ministry to do things. God put us here for a reason. He just didn't have us sitting here. Some of us are sitting here, but he just did not have us sitting here. We have an obligation. We have an obligation to make a difference in the community. And as you said before, we are the one, they are the ones who are going to be leaders, and we have to help them in order to be those leaders. And again, that comes a lot from my experience. You say you from Arkansas?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm from Mississippi. So you know
what part?
The history. I'm from in the Delta. There's a little town called Milesville, Mississippi. It's between Vicksburg and Greensville, Mississippi.
Oh, come on now, Miss Liz. We might be cousins.
You never know. See, that's why I said you never know. I tell them all the time, you have to check because you don't know who your cousins are. But I'm from Milesville, Mississippi, and my parents was very involved in the civil rights movement. And so I understand what it means to have confidence in self, and to education was pushed. So with my family. So I have a different feel for certain things because of my own upbringing.
So I'll tell you a little bit about me. So I live in Baton Rouge. Been here about 5 years. So I'm right down here in the Delta with you. But my dad's family is from Money, Mississippi. If you're familiar with that area. And that's down in the South. And then they migrated over to they settled in Southeast Arkansas, Stuttgart to be particular, the rice capital of the world. And so that's where my dad met my mom, and the legend had begun. So we, like I said, we're close family, but you see a lot of similarities in the South. I believe it's a pleasure, and it's to get to be with people. Like I said, and I'll keep harping on it because it means so much. I tell my children, I tell the kids in at my church, I tell everyone I get the opportunity that'll listen that how important it is to have someone who's been through what you're going through as a valuable tool. I want to take a step back to something you said a bit ago, talking about, which is obviously what choice means, but talking about the options. And so one of the things I think is very cool is that it when you give a child options, which I'm pretty sure your upbringing might have been similar. I was raised by older people. I'm the youngest of three. My dad was 89 when he passed in April, and my mom is 72 now. She just turned 72 this month, and so, but she was raised by older folks as well, and so we didn't have a lot of options. But presenting those options does allow, like I said, to create those leaders, because what do leaders have to do? As one of our esteemed presidents, George H.W. Bush, said that he's a decider. And I didn't agree with everything he said, but it's important to be that decider, to make those decisions. not only those decisions, something I talk a lot about with my kids is making the right decision. Sometimes in the face of others who may not make the right decision. So it's something to the idea of providing those options. And shout out to my pastor, Lathot Delaney here in Gonzales, Louisiana. He talked about we got into the community, and we've talked for years now about the importance of starting early. We can't wait till high school anymore. I know you said you were working with students in, I believe you said primary and elementary age kids.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes.
yes, ma'am.
Yes.
And so for us, it's super duper important to get going early, especially here in Louisiana, where a lot of children are making adult decisions very, very early in life. So we're definitely trying our hardest to provide them options and the opportunity to make the decisions. If nothing else, if they make the wrong decision, they got time, if you will, to kind of right that wrong, or when faced with that opportunity again, make the right decision. So definitely looking into that and appreciating kind of the way you play you put that together by saying, giving them the options and things like that. So talk a little bit about. So I've seen it. I was trying to pull some pictures, and this is where things kind of got a little wonky with my students. But I was looking at some of the fundraisers and some of the things that you guys have done here in the past. Kind of talk a little bit about maybe some of your fondest memories, and whether it be a fundraiser or if it was a student that you guys were able to turn around. Any stories like that you guys may want to share?
Talk about you. Talk about how to set up.
We probably have so many stories, beautiful stories. One thing that I love about working here at C.H.O.I.C.E is that they are stories, and they're stories of triumph, but we don't use our participants' trauma to be glorified or any of that. It's more about telling stories of resilience, making sure that they're comfortable. So a lot of times people will say we tell the same story sometimes, but it is about the protection of our participants, because everyone is not ready for everyone to hear their story. And we allow people that space and time, because our program is about equipping young people with coping mechanisms and resiliency skills to face the things that they have been facing before the age of 18. On a jargon, it's ACEs, adverse childhood experiences, but basically just childhood trauma. Kids, there may be a parent that may have mental health issues. There may be a parent or a caregiver that may be fall into substance abuse issues. In addition to parental absence, whether that be parental absence by choice or by death or by divorce. Also, in addition, poverty, just living in a impoverished community, or whether that be having financial or economic struggles in your home. All of those are traumatic experiences. And so we help our young people navigate through those traumatic experiences. But if I'm thinking of a story that I tell all the time, it would have to be about Jamon Brown. He is a former NFL player. I believe, no, Jamon was not the first. Mario Uridia was our first participant to actually enter the NFL, and Jamon followed him shortly after. Both of them are Fern Creek High School graduates. But I tell the story of Jamon and Mario because both of them came back to this city and started their own philanthropic efforts. Wow. And before they did that, they came and sat in this office that we're sitting in now. And one, asked for our blessing and then asked for our guidance. And I tell that story because it really marks the definition of what this organization is. We, through their high school years, we help them triumph over some personal issues to where they could graduate and become and go to the NFL and grace U of L with their talents before they went there. But for them to have that exposure, but throughout their time, as while they were proceeding to the NFL, while they were in the NFL, the calls. That's the memory of the calls of trying to find their way, trying to discover who was right for them, how to make choices, getting to understand who they were as young men, and needed someone who knew them before time so they could process their feelings and emotions. And so I love bragging on those two men. They're absolutely beautiful fathers. The fact that they enjoy fatherhood, they fatherhood is a pinnacle of both of their lives, and it has been a joy of watching them become fathers and become husbands. And so I tell that because that is the pinnacle of what we want. We're trying to grow leaders, young people who understand not only about their personal struggles, but understand that they can utilize those personal struggles to actually be a light in their community, to help other people, to bring a voice to other people. And I am just astonished sometimes about how, as Ms. Liz was talking about, how us as adults, we do not all the time give space for young people to have that kind of creative mind. Another one of our people I like to brag on is Brett Bibbs. He's here in Lexington, Kentucky. Brett Bibbs, he's also one of our board members. But Brett had an idea in high school. He wanted to get a whole bunch of community partners together and get people out and for them to understand all of what was happening in the community. This was in high school. Shortly after Brett graduated college, he entered into Leadership Lexington, along with one of our board members, Dr. Antonia Farrell, entered into Leadership Lexington and made that idea into a fruition. This was something that he would talk about throughout high school. But however, and he was able to, I believe the event is still going on. I think it's been about like 5 years or so that they had, it's an annual event, but to know that he was in the halls of Fern Creek or in our group on a weekly basis, talking about something he wanted to do. And the name of our program is Dare to Dream. And so I speak about those three young men because they dared to dream and they brought them into fruition. And that's what I enjoy watching their stories. Brett is another wonderful father. And that piece right there. When I heard them, you introduced me as doctor. So I did my dissertation on this program. And during that time, that was one of the most remarkable things that our male participants said is that being in the program taught them how to be a father, made them want to learn to nurture their child versus just be present. And I think that is extremely powerful for them to understand that. Some of them didn't have that growing up. Some of them didn't have that presence. And so to be able to talk about things that are weighing heavy on you, to be able to get the guidance and to get the supports and resources around you to process that in healthy ways, and then to develop your own family and continue teaching these healthy ways, continue making sure that they understand community and family is a priority. And so I've really enjoyed watching many of our participants. The young man that you're talking about in the video is Ramari Taylor. Okay. Ramari is at Buffalo now. Ramari was our second early graduate. We had one before. His name is he went to Kentucky State. so we've had early graduates before, and what we mean by early graduates, they graduated in December, and then in January they started their college careers.
Wow.
And so I think that is super powerful. He's not our only one. We've had some other early graduates. We have one that is at University of Michigan. We have a couple at Union, Lindsey Wilson. So a lot of different colleges from D3 up to D1. And it's not even about the division. It's about that they getting the opportunity to live out their dreams. They're getting the opportunity to play the game that they have fallen in love with. And so that is the biggest coup that we can say, is that we are helping them realize their dreams. What they don't like to talk about is a lot of times when we got them academically, the motivation was low. Academically, the GPAs were not fitting what was needed for recruitment. And so many conversations that we would have on a weekly basis would be about academics, and it'd be about the motivation, because you have to be motivated to academically excel. It is not always about the IQ. And I think that people need to understand that, as we have the discussion right going on around about 504 plans and IEPs. Some of the people that I'm talking to you very well about now have those things, and they still were able to reach their goals. Yes, and so I think that is something as adults and future leaders and people who are giving people space to be themselves, that we understand that it is about not necessarily capacity all the time, but capability. What are you going to be capable of? What do you want to do? What are you motivated to do? So I love that they allowed us to come in on their journey. I love that they allowed us to be very personable, and sometimes the conversations weren't nice. We're not talking about always roses and all of that. Sometimes the conversations are difficult, but you have to be receptive to that. And so we are grateful that our young people and our young participants are receptive to us, that they want us on the journey. They want us to be a part of what's going on with them. And so, we have many stories. We got.
I have one more. I have one more that I would like to highlight, and that's Justin Churchill. When Justin came into the program, there was an awful lot going on with him. And this is a young man who really fought to try to make sure that he grew in the right way. And he had a lot of challenges. And Justin and I spent an awful lot of time together. And it is just amazing to see him now. I'm just so proud of him. And again, here he is. He's an exceptional father, an exceptional young man. Justin had a motorcycle. He loved motorcycles. He had a motorcycle accident, and we thought that we were going to lose him. And so he had to fight. He had to learn to talk all over again. I mean, he had just like a baby. He had to learn. So that child put a lot of work in trying to get himself back where he is today. And Justin, right now, Justin owns a lawn company. And he is supportive of this program financially. And he always checking to see how the guys are doing at Fern Creek. He loves his school as well, and he loves this community. I am proud of that young man. If you just had been on the journey with us, with him, you will see that, hey, C.H.O.I.C.E made a difference, and he would tell you that today in his life. And I am thoroughly proud of that young man.
That's
I think
slogan for you guys. C.H.O.I.C.E made a difference. That's we got to put that on the t-shirt.
Oh, you're right. I thank you. You're right. I'm going to put that on the t-shirt.
Yeah, I think it's beautiful, like probably a more recent story. Some of those people that we're talking about have either graduated within the last, 10 years. But I think about a recent story. We are at Iroquois High School as well. And last year we started our inaugural, the male program there. And I think about a young man there. At the time we got him, he was on the watch. For those who are not familiar, that is having an ankle bracelet. But however, he wanted to make an impact with young people. And what I enjoyed about his journey and what it taught us, because that's the thing about when you are growing and building leaders, if you are not a person receptive of growth and feedback, then you cannot build other leaders. As a leader, you must be receptive as well. It was a difficult role, in terms of other people accepting that he wanted to help because of his circumstance. We advocated for him in the school, but I think, like we're talking about with adults, on understanding to give young people spaces, the adults in that atmosphere didn't quite understand. But what I want to celebrate with him is that he tried to stay close to us to make sure that he could talk about what was going on. Most recently, I just seen him. And so that's why it comes to mind. And he stopped me and he said, well, how's my mentee? For him to have, had so many barriers, people not wanting him to be a part of the program, for him to still care. And for him to, in some essence, kind of reel back some of his behavior because he knew he was representing us. And so I think that a lot of times we try to push away young people who have made bad decisions. I heard you say that earlier, getting young people to understand how to make bad decisions and how to come from that. And so I think that even though he was with us for a short amount of time, for him, and I still see him reaching out to us, that short amount of time, it was impactful to him. And it made him feel like he had a safe space to talk about what was going on. And that's the biggest thing with C.H.O.I.C.E, is that we create safe spaces for young people and their families to talk about what is going on and to really create resolve. As Ms. Leah said, we love a good talk. We love a good meeting. We love a good email. However, C.H.O.I.C.E is not that kind of organization. We gonna roll up the sleeves and we're gonna get dirty here, and we're gonna make sure that there's a solution, because implementation of solutions is where we are at. I think we fairly know there's enough research out there, there's enough expertise and experience out there about what needs to be done. I think at this point, it is about people coming to action and being being active. Like Ms. Liz said, if you're not at the church, or if you're not doing something, and it's not just the church. I'm sure it's not just a church, but you can go, just down the street. It might be, you might get stand out in front of the grocery store and just wait for all the people who might need some help. You could, you don't even have, you could go to your local restaurant, and if you got it, help make sure someone, hey, it's not all, it is about understanding who you are.
Right.
And then once you understand who you are, you understand how more effectively to help. And I think that is where probably we have the gaps that you were speaking of, is because so many people have got the privilege, and it is a privilege. Even though it should be done, it is a privilege to be able to get to know yourself, because there's so much chaos and complexity in life. And so not everyone has had the privilege to do that. But I think once you get that privilege, you understand how to be more effective within the community that you reside.
Let me tell you a quick story. I was in the grocery store, and these little boys, they were picking up things, putting it in their pockets.
Mm.
I did not know them, but all I did, I just stood and looked at them, and they dropped their head, and I just kept looking at them, and they slowly but surely put those things back. I didn't say one word other than I just kept looking at them with a smile on my face, and my face just like this. It's almost telling them no. I never
Um,
said no, but it was my disposition that said no to them. They put them back, and then they say, "Okay, we better go." I said, "I think that is the best thing for you to go." As many times, and especially males, when males see things like that, they have a posture that they can present, and let young men will understand that there are certain things I don't say, there are certain things that I don't do, and I think that that helps a lot. I think we have talked about all of our males, but we need to talk a little bit about our female group.
oh,
Our female.
you led me right down that path, Miss Liz. I was headed there next. I did want to jump in and say for those that are watching, we do have Miss Liz Sias-Shannon and Dr. Don Shannon of C.H.O.I.C.E, which of course stands for Children Have
Have
Options
options and
in
choosing
Choosing
experiences.
Experience. And so I want to also jump in the comment section. I'm very proud. So one of the things that I get to do in my podcast, we'll definitely jump back over to the women's side. One of the things I get to do with my podcast, and it's always a proud day when I can bring in doing something positive in the community. And I generally, sports has a darker side. Sports has a comeback to it. Sports has a rougher side. But it's really cool when I get the chance to have positive stories and positive people coming in for a couple reasons. One, my mama is going to be proud of me. So thank y'all for that. Earned a few brownie points down there in Atlanta where my mom is. The other thing is I get to share I get to share this with my men's ministry, and so very active in my men's ministry at church. This is Reverend Michael from our men's ministry, and he was definitely agreeing with you. I think he's watching still. Shout out to him and all the guys over at St. Paul Baptist of Gonzales. Before we jump into the women, I did want to also say, Dr. Don, you would say this, and it actually is something I think a lot about. At our church, we spend a lot of time talking about how to get out of the church. So our work's not done there. We do our work outside the church in the community, and more importantly, that we're living in the decisions we make, the choices we make. Very, very cool to see that that same positive outlook out in Kentucky as well. So tell me a little bit about before we go into the women. I was interested in some questions about your staff. So is it just you two, or are there more people? I saw coming, but talk a little bit about
Yes,
this is certainly the time.
so this is it is just us two.
Okay.
I will brag on her. I'm sure people may have caught on from the last names that we related. Yes, we are a mother and daughter team.
I did the math.
She actually started C.H.O.I.C.E. She is the CEO and inventor of this organization. And for the last 11 years, I have joined her and trying to increase our sustainability and get the word out about all the wonderful work that she has laid foundation to. This our curriculum that we give is a research-based curriculum. This is not, I know a lot of people see mother and daughter team and they think, oh, well, we just volunteering. No, we're not just volunteering. Both of us, she's a licensed chemical dependency counselor, and I am a licensed social worker. So we got license and degrees behind this work that we're doing. And she's been doing it since 1987. which is I'll date myself, which is my birth year. So I this has been I guess a calling. Red Ribbon Week is coming up. Beautiful story about Red Ribbon Week.
Yes, ma'am.
I have been since I was 5. I have been giving red ribbon speeches. Back when Howard Snellenberg was coach at U of L, when we didn't have all the
Wow.
NCAA kind of red tape, he would make his players volunteer with choice. That's actually kind of how the Dare to Dream program came into fruition. And I would go around with the football players to the different middle schools, and I would have a little speech, and they would hold me up, and I would do my speech, and we all had like a little bit that we would do during Red Ribbon Week, and so that is how I got into this work. And it is also kind of how the Dare to Dream program began, because as the young men continue to participate in Red Ribbon Week and continue to come to groups and do things, they then had a conversation, and our other founder is Dr. Mary Bimker.
Okay.
Had a conversation with Mary and Liz, and they said, why don't we make the kids dare to dream? And so then Liz and Mary went for that and created a curriculum, a 28-week curriculum that is we already had a 20, but we added the sports and the mentoring program to it. Really kind of bolstering our curriculum and bolstering the resiliency that can be yielded from the work that we do. And so, we have a long history in terms of just different sports relationships. We've created a lot of the ones you're out there cheering for now and have been cheering for. I know what she's about to say about the girls' audio. For University of Kentucky, I believe she's coaching now here in Louisville, which is absolutely beautiful. She was one of our mentors. Many of our young girls go into teaching, go into careers in which that they can be helping professions, and I think that may have a little bit to do with us. The one I can brag on, and she gonna be too embarrassed. Miss Sequoia. She is a graduate of Iroquois. When Sequoia came out of high school, she was a staunch-owned business owner, retail in terms of housing and things of that nature. Has since now she's enrolled in school, and she is getting her social work degree, and I think that has also to do with us. And she volunteers with the agency, and when I say volunteer, I mean a true volunteer. For the last 2 years, on clockwork, probably every Wednesday and Thursday, Sequoia has come and assisted us. More so, it wasn't an ask of her. It was more, this is what I'm going to do now.
Wow.
And which I thought was absolutely beautiful. She's helped many of the young girls graduate. That's how we kind of got tied back in. She said she wanted to help, and I said, wait a minute now. She ended up mentoring a young girl from Fern Creek High School who at everyone in the building had no faith that she would walk. But Sequoia came in, worked with her, tutored her, shared her own story, just loved on her, made sure she had things, made sure she had a person to talk to. And she was able to graduate on time, and she's currently working, and they still stay in contact. And so those are the kind of things that our organization is doing. We've had several kids that we may get them junior year or sophomore year, and that is what the story is, that they probably will maybe not graduate because of the GPAs and things of that nature. And so that's why we say our program benefits kids in regards to academic motivation.
Yes.
Not as a thing is you got to be motivated. Yeah. As a doctor person, our little saying used to be C's get degrees, and they do. And so that's why we want to make sure it's about them finishing, because once you finish school, you get exposure and experiences that you need. And so that is really, really important, that they are motivated academically, to explore, to learn more, to be curious about things. Like I said, you can have all of the talent, even on the sports, and we know some talented people that are sitting on the couch right now with a game controller in their hand, but consistency, confidence in yourself, in a community are the things that you need. You need them three C's in order to go over the hump of things. You need that. And so talent will not take you everywhere. It's wonderful to have. However, if you don't have some of those other elements, you may not be able to see your dreams into fruition. And so that is what we're teaching the young people that we're dealing with, is them to create themselves a network of supporters, to create them a network of people that can see them, that can create safe spaces for them, that provide them also opportunities. Because the same person who might provide you a safe space may not have the capability to provide you an opportunity. And you must identify the difference between that. And so, getting them to understand, especially kids coming from trauma, a lot of times people can manipulate them a little bit easier, given if they don't have those resiliency skills, or if they haven't been able to learn how to identify, like I said, safety and opportunity.
Yes, ma'am.
When you were talking a few minutes ago, you gave a shout out to your church, and I need to give one out to mine. Burnett Avenue Baptist Church. The Reverend Dr. Coruscant is the pastor, and he is, I consider, an exceptional leader, because he would get up in the pulpit and tell you, we're focusing on young people and senior citizens. That's his thing. And he has shown that in the church. He has shown that from the way that he provides opportunities for the young people in our church. And I am also proud of our girls group in this sense. Females need role models.
They do.
And if you're going to work with them, you need to be a role model. You need to identify role models that they can look to as well. We must realize that when we talk about our males that do not have father figures, we need to talk about our females, because typically, I'm not going to say all the time, typically, when we are selecting a male to have friendship with or to date, we look to our fathers and the kind of character that they have. And if I don't have one in my household, or an uncle or someone, a lot of times we make choices that we have to deal with later on. So we have to look at that as well. And what we do with our females, we bring males into the group. We bring, when I say male, we bring leaders from the community into group to talk to females as well, because they need to hear what males are thinking and about how they see females. Because many times as females, we have the wrong definition of how males are thinking about us. And so we bring those in as well. And not only that, but they are, like I said, they tell me I'm old school, but I come from a good school. Okay.
That's right.
I went to school at Clark Atlanta University. It was Clark College and Atlanta University at the time. I went there, but I come from a good school, a school in Myersville, Mississippi, a good one. And I often deal with females in terms of behavior, in terms of how you need to carry yourself, in terms of confidence in self. In self, you need confidence in self. And believe in something, because as a nonprofit group, you go into the school system, you know that. You can't go in talking about religion. But one of the things we always say, you have to believe in something higher than you. Just believe in something. We're not saying you have to be Christian, you have to be nothing, but believe in something that is higher than you. All you have to do is look at how your body is constructed. You know that there is something higher than you. Just
Yes,
believe in
ma'am.
that. Have that
Yes,
kind of
ma'am.
belief. You can stand even when your shoulders are heavy. You can stand and walk.
Absolutely beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful, Miss Liz. Well, listen, again, for those of you who are joining, we do have Miss Liz Sias-Shannon and Dr. Don Shannon of C.H.O.I.C.E. That's children have options in choosing experiences. And so a pleasure to have y'all with us. We are a sports podcast, so I do want to talk a little sports. I know you guys are doing quite a bit in the sports world. So being in Louisville, do you guys have I don't know if I should even ask, do y'all have a preference between Big Blue Nation and the Cardinals?
I don't. I don't
Okay.
have a preference. I don't have a preference because I always cheer because we've had students to go to both schools,
Okay.
and so I cheer for both of them.
Yes,
Uh,
ma'am.
Even when Louisville has, when they have the tournament and Louisville's out, if Kentucky's in there, I'm cheering for both, and so I really don't have a preference. I have two cups at home. One got Louisville on and one got Kentucky on. But I do have in my family some starch people that are
Oh.
totally fans. But it is because of the work. It is because of the work that I do. If I
Yes,
have a
ma'am.
student at one of those schools, I'm going to be cheering for them. So I'm just a little different in Kentucky. You know how Kentucky people are, but
Yes,
I'm just
ma'am.
a little different.
Well, I am a Louisville. Well, my brother
Oh
is
Okay.
Lord.
is a big Louisville fan, but I am a Louisville fan. The way it go here is if you were born in Louisville and you didn't go to college at UK, then you should be a Louisville fan. But if you went to if you know UK gave you some money to go up there and get some education, then I understand.
Right. Yeah, I
But
don't, I don't ask no question. That makes sense.
no, I'm a big U of L fan. Me and my brother try to root for him and everything. I've really enjoyed actually Coach Walls. I enjoyed how he has developed that women's program. I actually watch coaches' leadership. That's something
Okay.
I don't know if everyone does that. I'm kind of a nerd in that instance where I like look at how the coach is conducting things as well. Because I think that matters, especially because we sometimes advise some of our students about where they should go. And
Right.
so I look at the way coaches are moving and how they do things. And I think there's some nice coaches over there here recently. I think that they really doing some of their research and really listening to the young people over there at U of L and matching some good coaches over at U of L. I'm really proud of what the AD has done, this new AD in the last year or so. So I think U of L is on the up move. You can see the
Their
basketball
head
team,
coach.
the football team is killing it out here. We just beat Miami.
Yeah.
One of my good friends is a player development coach there, and so hopefully, we can get our partnership back with University of U of L because that is how this program did start. Through University of U of L, and we really do enjoy some of the work that they are doing over there, and I'm very proud
Oh, I'm
of
impressed with
how
their head coach of
the
the
AD
basketball
has been
team.
moving. I can see kind of a little bit of his formula. I can see that he is a person that listens, and that to me is a part of the biggest part of any of the management and leadership that goes on in the sports world.
Well,
Oh, I
and
am impressed with the head coach of the basketball team at U of L. I
he's done
think
an outstanding job.
he's done an exceptional job. I think when he first got there, I don't think they thought, but I just like the way that he carried himself and how he cares for the young men, and he has an expectation, not only on the court, but he has an expectation for them to be young men on and off of the court. So I really like that about him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so I'll tell you,
Yeah,
as an Arkansas fan, I can say that I don't root for UK. I mean, I'm like you, Dr. Don. If they got the right number, I guess I can spend 4 to 6 years there with whatever child they want to offer. But I'm probably more of a UL fan myself if I had to pick between the two.
And it's been nice to have the native Braun back. It's been nice to have the Braun family back involved. You can tell that the legacy runs deep. You can tell through the tailgating that people are revived about the legacy of Louisville. So I'm enjoying watching where we're about to go. I don't know what they about to do up there at the Big Blue, but they definitely got some cleaning up to do.
Okay.
So, speaking of Brian Braun, and I forgot that this is his alma mater, which will play a factor. He's as you said, he has been doing a magnificent job rebuilding that football program. I know his name is surfacing on the bigger stages with the bigger programs for some that are coming open. Do you feel like that UL will be able to keep him with the hometown discount, or be able to pull on his heartstrings and the alma mater springs to get him to stay here or stay at UL?
I think he's going to stay some time because I think he believes in legacy. I mean, his family has a legacy, and I think this is the job he's been wanting for. This is his dare to dream. Him being at WKU and had built that program up, and I'm seeing some wonderful recruits go into WKU's program that I think probably would not have been on their radar because you're seeing some boys from way down south. You're seeing some Florida boys coming at WKU, and I'm like, that program probably would not have been on their radar without Braun. And so I'm sure dollars make you holler and make you move. I'm sure maybe if there was the right number, but I do think that just from observation that he is invested in the Louisville legacy, and I think that means more to him maybe than the other accolades that possibly will come.
Sure. One last thing I wanted to mention, Dr. Don, before I'll let y'all just literally shameless plug your way out. You keep bringing up the leadership aspect of players and coaches. Talk a little bit about, and we won't go into the bad leaders. We won't have to celebrate that, but talk about some of your favorite leaders that you've seen, whether it be a coach or anything like that you just feel like are exemplifying the type of leadership that not only C.H.O.I.C.E stands for, but what we need to see more as a society and a community.
I will say, my person I've always looked up is John Thompson. Because of that relationship with AI, the second chance coach. I operate very similar to that, providing space for second chances and for people to understand the mistakes of their ways, and then to be able to have the privilege to show who they really are. I will also, I'm gonna give a plug to our football coach at Fern Creek High School. He is also one of my classmate, but Coach Abel, I have watched him over the last few years, and the way that he has decided to develop his players, one, allowing us to come in, one, creating a partnership with us. He will attend field trips. He will make sure that things can happen for us so the guys can participate. And I believe that he listened to the players and understood how important choice was in their lives, and he could see the difference that we were making with them on and off the field. And so to me, that's a coach. A coach that can understand how resources on and off the field can help a player to get to know the players. I've watched him develop beautiful relationships with some of our young men. I've enjoyed knowing that we come from the same alma mater. I have enjoyed watching his journey as a head coach, and watching what he has done with the football program. If anyone is from Kentucky and can know the history of Fern Creek High School and understand how the program has definitely evolved. They just got a new stadium. So he understands the business side, but he also understands the player side, and he understands some of the X's and O's as well. And so I think you have to have all three of that, but also, and he's a listener and he listens to his other coaches. Matter of fact, one of our alumni, Coach Streeter, is one of the coaches at Fern Creek. He used to be in our program and now he coaches. And that has been wonderful for him to be able to tell the guys about his story and what, how it helped him get to college. And if, as a matter of fact, if you go to our YouTube, he is on there as a young man talking about what was happening as a young man and how we were helping him decide his college choice. And then he came back to give back to his community. And so I think that those are the kind of things, a coach that would allow previous players to come in and become coaches and develop them as coaches. I think those are the type of leadership that you need in coaches that understand the player, that understand the business side, and will allow his other coaches to help him with them X and O's.
Yes, ma'am. Well, listen. So first of all, shout out to them. We're very, 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 very excited. And leadership is again, it holds so much weight in everything that we do and how it affects the community. Speaking of the community, if you guys are interested, I would like to offer you a bowl of etouffee and a chance to just come on over here and bring C.H.O.I.C.E to the Baton Rouge.
Hey, get us a contact. Tell us somebody to call you. Get us a contact.
That's flies in. That's flies in. We'd be more than happy to do that. That's flies on in. Because we're not a selfish program. This is, and if you come into this community, you would know that we're not. Because if you got a ministry and if you wanted to grow, it cannot grow unless you open up and have others to come in. So we're not a selfish program at all.
But you shameless plug, and I'm gonna do it. I have no shame about trying to make our sustainability increase. So if you are watching and anything that we've said today has pulled at your heartstrings or pulled at your pocket strings, please visit our website and donate. We are always trying to garner funds to give our young people the experiences that they do need and exposure that they do need. For instance, we take them out in the community to do things, whether it be like main events or whether it be horseback riding, or like we want them to understand all of the resources that are available in the community, and that takes dollars. And so I hope that if it behooves you any, that you would donate to C.H.O.I.C.E.
Yes,
well, let me say this last. We have to go. Everybody know that a nonprofit organization struggles all the time because all of the nonprofits organizations in a community are reaching for the same dollars. And so at this particular point with C.H.O.I.C.E, we are looking for corporate sponsorship to sponsor our program. Like I said before, we talk a good game, but we need to put our money where our mouth is. You have to put money into prevention. If you want kids, you want to help kids, you have to put the money there in order to help them. And so I'm like Don now. There's no shame in my game. Everybody that knows me know that. We need money. Got some money, please donate. And if you want us to come out and talk about our program or help you develop a program similar to ours, just let us know. And of course, make the resources where we can come and help you.
And you can go on Metro. Yeah, you can go on Metro United Way. And also, if we understand money is time too, or time is money. So we do have volunteer opportunities in terms of the board members are just joining our volunteer team. I'm not going to put the cat out of the bag, but we have a very unique opportunity, to possibly work with some of our police officials here to better that relationship. And so please, if you want to know more about us, contact us. Just like you did, you see how seamless that was. If you message us on anything, we definitely reply and try to make sure that everyone is heard, because we are about creating a safe space, not only in Louisville, but all across the country, to make sure that young people's voices are heard and they have the ability to dare to dream.
And thank you.
It's definitely needed. It's definitely needed all over. So we definitely look forward to working with you more. Hopefully next time when you guys come, maybe you can grab some of the former students or current students and have them come chat with us as well. We be one of the things that I often tell everyone that comes on. My mom raised me to treat everybody like family. As a matter of fact, she would say that if you treated everybody like the president, when the president showed up, you don't have to act fake. That I've taken that with me in a lot of different aspects. And turns out, the older I get, the smarter my mom gets every year. I didn't know. I don't know if she knew what she was talking about when I was 14 and I knew it all, but now I think she knows what she's doing now. She's got it perfected. But no, we really appreciate you guys joining us. So please tell everybody where they can find you. I know you guys are a little bit like my son. So feel free to share everywhere that you guys are.
They can go to www.choicelouisville.org. All of our websites, all of our social media are at the bottom of our website. So you can reach us there. You can donate there. Anything that you need from us, find out more about our programming. Also, you just visit our website, or you can give us a call at 502-456-5137. And me or Miss Liz, our wonderful intern, you don't see her right now. She probably does not want to be on camera, but our wonderful intern, Miss Beverly. We do have an intern that does help. Yes, we are the only two staff people, but we get the beautiful privilege of having some of Campbellville's University social work students come and work with us. And so Beverly is here with us today, helping the back the scenes. I know y'all heard the phone and all of that jazz. So we gotta have a little behind the scenes. And so we're really grateful for all of our volunteers and all of our participants that make this possible, for allowing us to, like I said, go on your journey and create safe spaces within this community.
Well, listen, I'm happy to hear the phone ring. That means that y'all get another opportunity to help someone, and I'm always for that. Well, again, Dr. Don, Ms. Liz, can't say thank you enough for y'all joining and being patient with me and our work, but definitely going to be sharing and supporting in any way that I can with you guys from here on out. And hopefully, like I said, look forward to having y'all back. And like I said, being able to bring some of those stories, some of those faces that you put faces to those stories that you guys have told, and hopefully adding more stories and more work to what you guys are doing and going forward and more every day. Anything else? Anything else you want to mention before we go?
The only other thing I wanted to say is thank you so much for being so kind to have us on. I've enjoyed that. I didn't want to Dr. Dunn, when she was talking about when she was 5 years old. I didn't want to go back farther than that, because in this very office where we are right now, it's basically where she grew up, because she was always here with me while I was working with my colleague, Dr. Pemberker. So she has been a part of this program, the fabric of this program, all of her life. Nor did I ever say to her that she needed to be a part of the program. It was just a part of her. And I also want to put a key out for our a sorority. She is an AKA, and I am a Zeta Phi Beta member. So I want to put that out. The Divine Nine. Yeah, we're two of the Divine Nine.
Yes, man. Well, I am a captain. So y'all are part of two of my favorite
Oh, well, we won't talk.
You know what's pretty
We
people?
won't talk.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Did I say the wrong frat?
We won't talk. Okay.
You know how us pretty people get down.
Well, I certainly, again, definitely appreciate you guys. And one thing I can say, Ms. Liz, I can say without question that C.H.O.I.C.E certainly seems to be in great hands. You've done well. Maybe the biggest story you have is that you get to say that your daughter is right beside you every step of the way. So I can only imagine the pleasure that comes from that. Well, again, to everyone that's joined us, certainly thank you all so much for joining us. Don't forget, please go out, and if nothing else, just click on the link. Go check out the website. Check out some of the things they're doing. I can tell you from working in nonprofits myself, the money usually finds its way, and good people know how to make dollars stretch. One thing we don't get nearly enough of is manpower. Now obviously this ministry don't run off faith alone. So if we do need all the support we can get, whether it jingles or folds. But the time is maybe more important. The manpower, the man hours becomes more important. So please click on the link, support, follow. If you don't have anything else, you're on your phone, hit the share button, hit the like button, send a comment, tag someone else. There's a lot of opportunities here. So definitely there. And I'll finish with this, but thank you all so much for C.H.O.I.C.E joining us. Thank y'all for watching. Tough times don't last, as I always say. Tough people do. Thank y'all for watching the Fanatic Sports Podcast.
Bye.
Have a great day.